All right, hello everybody. We're so glad you're here, and thanks for attending Pinnacle Quality Insight CAPS Q&A session, Lunch with Angel. And today we're pleased to have Angell Hansen, Account Manager here at Pinnacle Quality Insight, answering questions for you all. If you've attended before, you might notice I'm not the voice you're used to. Kim is on maternity leave, so I get to be here with you, and you might be wondering who I am. I'm Kara Henry, and I'm so excited to be here at Pinnacle. I'm kind of new here, and my role here is the Customer Success Manager. Before we begin, I want to start with some housekeeping items. At first, I would like to direct you to the control panel on your screen if you're joining us online. At the top of the control panel, you'll notice an orange arrow that points left. When you click on this button, the control panel will open, and here you will see audio options and a question section. And you can hear our webinar today either through your computer's audio or on your phone. And a dial-in telephone number is listed. You should be able to find that. And this is a broadcast-only webinar, so the audience is muted. However, we invite you to share comments and questions by messaging us through the control panel. Feel free to do that at any time. We love to hear from you. Below the audio options section is the question section. And if you have questions for Angell that you haven't sent her prior to the Q&A session, type your questions here at any time. And then just press send. And when you exit the Q&A session today, you will receive a short survey. And we invite you to take a moment to participate in the survey so we can continue improving. You know how much we love surveys here at Pinnacle. So after the webinar is done, we will email you a recording of the Q&A session and a link to any handouts that we have for you. We've also picked a winner for the $20 Visa gift card from everyone who registered, and we'll announce the winner at the end of the webinar, so make sure you stick around for that. Okay, with the housekeeping items out of the way, we're going to go ahead and start. Angell, the webinar is yours.
Thank you so much, Kara. We are so happy to have you here at Pinnacle, and welcome to everybody. Depending on where you are, good morning or good afternoon. I am so excited to meet with you today because I have a lot of great information to cover. It has been a busy month gearing up for this last quarter of the year. How is everybody doing? Now, remember, my main goal for these sessions is to give you an opportunity to reach out with your questions, give us feedback about the CAPS survey, and to help you make the best of the CAPS process. So tell us what's working for you and what's not. We understand that the CAPS survey is only one small part in your agency's quality improvement system, but using this part well means that your quality will improve. And just to clarify, if you're listening and watching, you are a current Pinnacle client who has the product Home Health CAPS surveys, Hospice CAPS surveys, or both. This discussion will be focused on these surveys. Many questions I can answer can be found on the official CAPS website. Now take note of these and check them at least twice a month for any new announcements concerning the CAPS surveys. For home health, it is home health spelled out and then CAHPS.org. For hospice, you will go to hospice CAHPS survey.org. Don't forget that double S in hospice CAPS survey. If you have any complaints, questions, or comments on how to improve the CAPS survey, contact these teams. They listen. Believe me, I've tested it. The more feedback you provide, the better they can make the survey. So let's do a quick poll question for some fun here. I'm going to give you a minute to answer this question. Are you watching football this season? A, I have a game on right now. B, I watch it all weekend. C, I only watch my favorite team. Or D, what is football? Let's see what you all answered today. It's kind of that time of year. Everybody is bundling up and going to football games. I would like to know what everybody is doing out there, what our listeners are doing. So I'll give you one more second. Let's see if the poll results will come in. Kara, does it look like we have all our answers?
I'm giving it one more second.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and close it.
All right.
All right. So it looks like 20% watch it all weekend. We got 0% for you have a game on right now, which we really appreciate. And then 60%, I only watch my favorite team, and 20%, this is where I fall. What is football?
Oh, good. Okay, so I was worried about if somebody answered A, I would tell them, make sure you're making time for your loved ones, all right? But if you answered D, maybe you could learn a little bit more about American football, and that's totally where I fall too. But you know, this is a good way to break the ice with your patients. As an example, when you have an interest, they have an interest also. Our office is playing a football bracket game to see who can pick the most winning teams per week. And for me, it's quite hard. I just guess. But really, I'm trying to be the biggest loser, and I've been quite successful so far. It's just fun and helps our office camaraderie. So thanks for having a bit of fun with me. I wanted to let you know um, we're going to continue building on the foundation that was set during the first Lunch with Angel webinar. And if you missed that, you can watch and listen by going to Pinnacle's support website. There you will see sections called Overview, Quick Start, Courses, and Best Practices. The webinar links can be found on the Overview page. You can see on your screen that green oval area. Remember, there are 7 points for improving patient satisfaction. Pinnacle's study found them in our top performers. When these attributes are practiced by your agency, then you will be providing the best possible service you can, which shows in your CAHPS scores. Today's discussion, we will find some ways to exceed expectations and lose wait times. As part of those topics, I have 3 steps for you to focus on for today. To make it simple, here are the 3 defined ways to reach out to patients. The first one is use the Pinnacle staff checklist. If you don't know what that is, we'll cover it. The second one, how to listen to your patients. And the third one today is refining your agency's system for improvement. So I've got a question. Who is the most important person on your healthcare team? It's kind of a trick question. When you sit down and think about everyone that makes up your healthcare team, who is the most important person? Well, it's the patient. This is the person that your entire healthcare team needs to get to know, to understand, work with, and serve. So are you just providing care to them? Are you providing care for them? Are you providing care with them? What is the way you are providing care to your patients? I'm going to ask a lot of questions today, so I hope you're using your minds and engaging with me. 2 terms I want you to understand are satisfaction and experience, and they're different for surveys. Patient experience surveys, such as the CAHPS survey, sometimes are mistaken for customer satisfaction surveys. Patient experience surveys focus on how patients experienced or perceived the key aspects of their care, not how satisfied they were with the care. For example, CAHPS focuses on asking patients whether or not or how often they experience critical aspects of healthcare, including communicating with their caregivers, understanding their medication instructions, and the coordination of their healthcare needs. We're finding out if those things are happening or not. Now, conversely, satisfaction deals primarily with the patient's opinion about the care that they receive. Keep that in mind as we go through today's discussion. So going to the first thing, using the staff training checklist. This is a tool that Pinnacle developed. It ties directly back to the survey. Each item on this checklist correlates to a question in the CAPS survey. To effectively use this checklist, it must be used every time your agency interacts with the patient and family members. So I believe Kara has a link to provide for you. If she can post that in the chat section, that would be great. Print these pages out. You can laminate them or include them in your patient charts. You can make digital version of them so that you can track which of your staff is using them or not. It's really a way of helping you provide accountability so that you know when a caregiver visits each patient, everything that needs to be addressed is being addressed. Now, these goals are a little bit broad, so you can change them to be more specific towards your quality improvement goal, but keep the original intent so that patients will remember that you addressed medication or pain. They also help you remember to tell every patient and caregiver about the survey, that it's a government survey and it means a lot to you that you complete it. If you have any questions about using the checklist, you can schedule a webinar with our team for more training. Now, are you listening? Pinnacle offers a feature called Common Alerts. Are you watching for them? They show up in your My Pinnacle accounts. Your patients are talking to you. With this Common Alert feature, are you watching for them? One issue I've seen quite often in these comments is that the office staff does not know what the home staff is doing. Another issue that happens is when there are scheduling problems or suppliers are not ordered or delivered on time. And worst of all, there are concerns that the patient tells the office staff that doesn't get passed along to the home care staff, or vice versa. Your agency is a team that should function well together to meet the needs of every patient that you work with. I'm going to ask you some open-ended questions here. Feel free to open up a Word document or get out a pen and paper and jot down your ideas as I ask these questions. What do you think your patients expect when they have a visit with you for the first time? Can you always be that home care person that they expect? Is it possible that your patient may not even know what to expect? What if your first meeting with the patient is a simple discussion that clarifies this question? What is it that we can do for you? I'm going to repeat that. What is it that we can do for you? Once you've had that conversation with the patient, then you can serve them. Then you know what they expect and what they need from you. I love this quote. Exceeding expectations is where satisfaction ends and loyalty begins. Isn't that so true? I'm sure you all have some type of experience to give me on that. Now, I want to stress again to follow up with your patient's needs. A big need is to know that their time is valued. A courtesy phone call to say, I'm running a bit late, I'm on my way, shouldn't be hard, but it relieves so much stress and anxiety on the patient's part that your scores, I'm telling you, with this simple interaction can change. In the event that the patient attaches their name with the survey in the consent to share portion, make sure to follow up with any needs they have. Sometimes simply addressing a concern like this will transform a customer from just being satisfied to being fiercely loyal. This can mean the difference between your agency being scored probably yes recommended to definitely yes recommended. It can mean the difference between out of 0 to 10, how would you rate your agency? From a 7 or 8 to a 9 or that 10 that we're all shoot for. We've built a task feature into your MyPinnacle account, and as upper management looking at those reports, you can assign a task to someone. You can even assign one to yourself as a reminder using the @ symbol and the person's name. It will send them your message with the instructions. Now, once completed, they can mark the task complete and add some dialogue, how the situation was handled, so you have a record of the situation. For more guidance on using this feature, you can watch a video in the training section of our website. And for first-time users to MyPinnacle, the video is the first thing that you'll see when you log into MyPinnacle. It is just a short video that will help you. Now let's emphasize this quote. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Of course, that's so important. All right, I want to do another poll. This one's a little bit more designed for our CAP survey users. So how long have you used Pinnacle Quality Insight for your CAP surveys? A, 6 months or less. B, 7 months to a year. C, 1 year or more. Or D, since the beginning of CAPS. I'll give you a minute to answer that. I hope that you are really engaging in our conversation today and taking some notes and finding some ways that you can re-engage with your patients and really help your caregivers find good ways to re-engage with their patients. One more second, Kara. Do you have poll results yet?
I have a few. Give a few more seconds and see if anyone else.
All right.
Okay, I have the results. So we have A at 0%, 6 months or less, and B at 0%, 7 months to 1 year, and we have 80% 1 year or more, and 20% since the beginning of CAPS. And we appreciate you all using Pinnacle. We really love every one of our clients. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for those. I appreciate that. So continuing on in our conversation, it isn't hard to find information about patient-centered care. With the push being towards quality payment programs rather than fee-for-service in the last few years, everyone is so concerned about their star rating on Home Health Compare or Hospice Compare that just barely came out last year. We hear you. Statistics show over 250% more patients this year are ranking survey data, specifically the CAP scores, also called patient experience scores, as important for making healthcare decisions. So can you ignore what's going on in CMS's Compare websites any longer? I want to encourage you to go beyond the slogan. So what does that mean? It means that your quality improvement should not be a one-time campaign that blasts off and then fizzles as the shine has worn off. It means that as an agency, a team, together you decide who you want to be for your patients. Each of you serves a very unique patient population. I know, I've seen these patients coming in, and not one of you can claim that your patients all have the same needs or concerns to address. When you find out your agency's culture, use that to be true to your patients. Once your culture is solid, there will be focus areas that need improvements. Let's do another check-in. Those of you who are joining us from previous, I asked you to make one focus area. So I want to see, how are you doing on your quality improvement goals? And when I asked you to set your goal, I asked you to set it for 3 months, 1 quarter, and make sure that you have them written down and visible. A poster in the break room is the best way to go. Do you have specific action items for that goal, and how is that going? And have you celebrated success? What are you doing to recognize employees who are doing well? We'd love to hear your ideas and how they are working or not working for you. And if you need to start, don't say next week I'll make a goal. Start today. Write something down. Collaborate with your team. What is an area you know that needs improvement? Now, this is a big thing we come across. Are you just trying to stay compliant with the CMS, or do you really want to make a difference and use your CAP scores to make that difference? If you see a lower score on your report and you really care about bringing it up, then let us know. We will work with you and train you how to increase them. If you need help finding that area, we can show you how to use the Pinnacle report to find it. Now, I want to let you know we're not just another software company out there doing surveys on the side. Pinnacle is a patient satisfaction and patient experience is our specialty. You may contact us with any concerns about the CAP survey, and we want to be sure you think of us as part of your team. I want to share a touching story with you from a facility that we work with. A woman in this facility was on hospice care, and the facility brought a magician to her for her birthday to celebrate it. When she was asked what she would like to do, all she said was ride a horse. And maybe that was something that she had never done or hadn't done in a really long time. The facility, the hospice, and her son made arrangements for the horse to be brought, and the woman rode the horse around the parking lot. When we talk about listening, improving, and exceeding patient expectations, this is the perfect example. And I'm so proud to work with individuals like this that go beyond normal expectations. Of course, it doesn't need to mean giving a horse ride to all of your patients, but think about all those little ways that you can make a difference, even with those smiles that you bring to their homes, which is so important for so many people. And that's why at Pinnacle we say, people are our purpose. We want you to think about us as part of your team, and let us know of any concerns or questions you have about the CAP survey. I think we can take some questions now. Kara, has anyone listed questions online for us?
Yeah, we have a couple of questions. Sorry, I'm new. Do you want me to read them out loud?
Yeah, go ahead and let us know what the first question is. Sure, thank you.
All right, great. So we have a question from Hope. She says, is there another way to obtain surveys besides phone calls? For instance, is there a way that Pinnacle could send email surveys? We are trying to increase our response rate.
Oh, Hope, I have been asked this question so many times. The official CAPS modes are telephone only, mail only, and then a mixed mode called telephone and mail. Those are the only available ones right now. And when Pinnacle started doing CAPS surveys, we decided to stick with our phone survey mode because it provides a much more personal response to the questions that can be rather cut and dry. And we are able to ask them some open-ended questions that don't go out in a mailer. And even if you received maybe 1 or 2 surveys less by not doing a mailer, you're able to get a better value with the telephone survey. And don't think I haven't asked my bosses about doing a mailer. It's under consideration and it's definitely not out of the question. But at this time, the email survey is not available. That's a great question to direct to the CAPS teams and let them know your patients have an interest or can do a text or email survey, because that's where the industry is trending. Technology is definitely broadening its horizon, and I believe that technology is going to trend that way, but the faster you guys help push that trend, the faster CMS and other agencies that are controlling these measures will get these things out. So great question, Hope. Thank you so much. Any other questions, Kara?
Oh yeah, we have a few more. She also has a follow-up question, and she wants to know, is it a real person conducting surveys or a computer?
It is a live interviewer. Yes, we have specially trained interviewers who call. We are not allowed to do auto dialers. So when the person picks up the phone and says, hello, one of our interviewers says, hello, this is so-and-so calling from Pinnacle Quality Insight. So definitely, if there's any concerns about an auto dialer, put that out of your mind for sure. That's a good one too. Thank you, Hope.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is another great one. I thought you couldn't change the score once in, so how can they go from a supporter to a fierce supporter?
Okay, let me think about how to answer this one. Say that you have a patient that you have on service in February and they get surveyed. You are still have them on service. We can't ask that same patient again the same question for 6 months. So if that patient gets surveyed again after that 6-month window, and I'm talking about home health people, then they can change their response at that time. But you're right, you cannot change previous scores and what they have been, but you can change future opinions and future outcomes. And I think that's why they group your scores into 3 months. It changes by quarter, so that some smaller agencies that may not receive a lot of responses get a good variety of that 3-month average. So I hope that helps answer your question. Thank you for sending that in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have 2 more. Where can I find our CAP scores online?
Okay, the easiest way to find them is using a search engine, whatever you please, and search for Home Health Compare or Hospice Compare. And make sure that you pick on the one that is the cms.gov website. So once you find that, the front page allows you to type your agency name to see your scores. If you do not have enough survey data, you won't have a star rating. Just letting you know. And you may only have a percentage at this time. And what was the last question, Kara?
Does a training webinar with your company cost extra?
Absolutely not. We offer the complimentary training webinar that covers more in depth how to use the staff checklist, how to read your report, and looking at the compare websites. And I throw a lot of good things in there too. So it's well worth the hour with your staff and key team members that are concerned about your quality improvement to schedule one of those with us. So thanks so much, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you so much, Angel. And there is one more question that's specific to that person, and we will get to contact you through email, so don't worry if your question didn't get answered. Okay, I want to thank you all for attending this CAPS Q&A session, Lunch with Angell. If you have any more questions, you can feel free to email Angell at Angell, that's Angell with 2 L's, Hansen at pinnacleqi.com. And as I mentioned earlier, we will email you the recorded webinar, so keep an eye out for that email in your inbox, and we will also post the recorded webinar on our blog. And now it's time to announce the winner of our $20 Visa card. Our winner is Tony Brannon, and we will contact her to get that prize. So congrats! And we will also be probably doing a drawing again like this, again. So be sure to register for our next webinar. And thank you again, Angell, for this Q&A session, and we'll do another one in the first quarter in January. So until then, everybody have a great rest of the year, and thanks again.